there. So we are going to do quick previews for some of these SEC matchups this week, starting with Florida and Texas. What you got, Jay?
Florida, Texas. FanDuel has this as a 6.5 point favorite by Texas, over under 42.5.
Yep.
I think Florida and Texas both coming off with a bye week.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to be a big game. I think it's going to be a defensive struggle down in Florida. May be wrong.
This one is in the swamp.
I think Florida with the upset.
Are you really?
Taking Florida in the upset.
I like it, Jay. And you know what? That would be so Billy Napier. You know?
If you watch the Miami games, 13-7, as bad as they were offensively, 13-7.
And LSU.
And LSU. Like,
they haven't gotten blown out.
Yeah.
I like it. I really like it. What is necessary? Two big name quarterbacks for good or bad this season, Arch Manning and DJ Lagway. What's the next step for each of them?
I think for Arch, like, he's done well since the Ohio State game, but against lesser competition.
Who have they played? Exactly.
Against lesser competition. So to me, it's almost like Ty Simpson. You need a game to really show that you really improved. And for him, this is that game, because him chirking his mouth in front of, a lesser opponent, like, that doesn't do anything for me.
Yeah.
Let's do that against Florida, and everything. And I think for Lagway, he's got to get out of this slump that he's in. Whatever it is, you could talk about the summer, him not being there and everything. Okay, we're 5 games in now.
Facts.
Now I think it's time for him to be better with the football, be more accurate with his passes. It's one thing. He's missing a lot of open guys that are just, open. And I think maybe the guys get caught up too much of the headlines in preseason. Get rid of these headlines. Don't listen to your own hype. Like, let other people praise you. Don't praise yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Always keep feeling like you're chasing something and have a chip on your shoulder. But but I think both of these guys thought they arrived. And when you become the person that's always talked about, guess what? You now becomes the dot that everyone wants to chase and knock off. So they have to change their mindset now because people look at them differently.
Meanwhile, a guy like Trinidad Chambliss, who was just floating under the radar all offseason, and even to start the season, is just playing totally free. Garrett Nussmeier, Arch Manning, DJ Lagway, all the expectation. Really, the only one that's handling it well is Diego Pavia. We'll get to that in a second. That guy's just built different. All right, we've also got Kentucky, Georgia this weekend. FanDuel has Georgia as a 20.5 point favorite. No surprise there. Over under 48.5. Obviously, Georgia coming off that disappointing loss to Alabama. They return between the hedges. You expect they'll be juiced and looking to get that bad taste out of their mouth following that loss. They also have had Kentucky's number. Georgia has won 15 straight versus Kentucky. Kirby is 9-0 versus Mark Stoops and the Wildcats. Kentucky had 4 turnovers in 1 quarter against South Carolina. That is terrible. 2 of those were returned for touchdowns. So this Georgia defense is going to be chomping at the bit. Kentucky's obviously had some change at quarterback with Zach Calzada going down early. He was even struggling when he was out there. So it's been a very difficult season for Kentucky. You don't really feel like their offense is going to be able to figure out their woes against Georgia this week. They are still a very run-heavy offense. You kind of expect that out of Kentucky. And Mark Stoops, Seth McGowan has been fairly solid for them at back. But they haven't scored more than 2 offensive touchdowns against a power conference defense in the past 11 games dating back to last year. So unfortunately for the Wildcats, I feel pretty confident in taking Georgia in this one. Next up, we have – oh, go.
Now, I was going to say that's an easy one, Georgia, for me. I just think Kentucky is just they're reeling. I don't know. We'll talk about this next episode. Is the game catching up with the RPO system?
Well, I love that concept. Yeah, we need to talk about that. It's interesting that, and again, I'm not picking up a pitchfork and calling for coaches to be fired because everyone is human and I don't love to do that. But it is Mark Stoops is not being talked about near as much as, heck, even Brian Kelly. Brian Kelly's had 2 out of his 3 years 10-win seasons. But I think it's more because Stoops signed an extension in November of 2022 that extended him through 2030. He's making $9 million a year. He's one of the highest paid coaches in the country. It is crazy when you look at what they're doing and kind of the juxtaposition of that. But I think that's a big part of it. And obviously in 2022 was when they were on one of their best runs in program history. But it has really been a bit of an uphill battle since then. So yeah, I'd take Georgia very comfortably in that one. Next up, Mississippi State and Texas A&M. Jay, what you got?
Yeah, this game gonna be very interesting.
I think so too.
Two schools that share similar colors. If you don't know, I think they're tied 9-9. I think in the series overall. But FanDuel has A&M 14.5 favorite, 55.5 over or under. I think Mississippi State covers the spread. I think Mississippi State has confidence going into this game. I think A&M is still trying to figure out who we are offensively. Yes, they beat Notre Dame in Notre Dame, but Notre Dame is still a 1-2 football program. They beat an Arkansas team that was just reeling. So I just think that in this game, I think A&M wins it. But if Mississippi State offense get on fire, like they could go in there and win this game.
Because honestly, that's the only reason Auburn lost. They couldn't get the offense going.
I just don't think Mississippi State defense is as good as Auburn's defense.
Not as good. I would agree with you. But A&M's offense is not doing themselves any favors with all the penalties either. So, I mean, it really depends, who comes out with their hair on fire in this game.
Yeah. I think, A&M is a night game in A&M. I was hoping our game was a night game in A&M because I wanted to see the sway in at nighttime.
It's cool.
But it's really cool. So every time we play out there since I've been covering, it's always been a day game. So it is what it is. I
digress. All right. I like it. I feel like the Aggies will probably get it, but that game could be another real gut check. All right. And last up, we've got Vanderbilt versus Alabama. If you had told me 2 years ago game day would be going to Vandy versus Bama, I would never have believed you. But we've got number 11 versus number 17. This has been one of my favorite stories over the past couple of years is the evolution of Vandy. And, I think that Clark Lee is such a great example of coaching adaptability. I think these days coaches get very set in their ways. I think we're seeing it, especially in the SEC, a little bit on display right now. They get very set in fitting some mold, fitting some expectation instead of adapting. You talk about adjusting in game, in season. Coaches got to adapt. Coaches have to make best of what they've got and find a way that your disadvantages become an advantage. Clark Lee went out and found Diego freaking Pavia at New Mexico State, brought with him his favorite target in his tight end, Eli Stowers, and worked to their skill set. And he leaned into Vandy and Nashville and the underdog mentality. He brings Jerry Kill in as his direct assistant, who Jerry Kill is a longtime coach, has a wealth of knowledge. And Clark goes, I can learn from you. He's so impressive, in my opinion. He's also an alum, so he gets what they've been up against. And so this, Vandy against the world mentality has just worked so well for them. It's been so fun to watch. Vandy comes in 5-0. Bama is 3-1. That lone loss to Florida State, and obviously probably the most impressive win on their resume over Georgia. One thing to note, Bama defensive lineman James Smith is going to have to miss the first half because he did get ejected for targeting last week. So that'll be an interesting one. Ty Simpson arguably coming off one of his best games. But look, Alabama's defensive front has struggled with mobile quarterbacks this year. Thomas Castellanos was all over the place in week 1. Do I think they've gotten better? Yes. But Diego Pavia is a different breed of dude. He's already got over 1,200 yards through 5 games. They just have a different factor that I don't know you can prepare for. Now, because of what happened last year and how embarrassing it was for them, because it's in Tuscaloosa and Bama's coming off that Georgia win, though they were coming off a Georgia win last year too and still got upset. I do lean Bama. Our friends at FanDuel have them favored 10.5, the over-under 56.5. But if Vandy gets this win, will we see Vandy in the playoffs?
What time is this game?
I think it's a 2:30.
It's a 2:30 game. I didn't know if it was going to be the night one on ABC or not.
Mm-mm.
College game day at Vanderbilt has my mind just turning right now.
Well, it's at Alabama.
Yeah, at Alabama. I'm just talking about
Yeah.
them covering the game.
That
Just has
I
my
know.
mind turning. Like Vanderbilt used to be the homecoming game for like Alabama.
Yes.
And here we are now, how fast things have changed in Vanderbilt has just been like just a dream.
So
And it
impressive.
shows you like, how college football, where's that, right? Like, Vanderbilt doesn't have the biggest pockets, like, as far as like how much they pay out to their team, but they bought into some whatever this edge is that they're setting. Like they just believe in each other. And I don't think there's any guys ever looking at the portal. I don't think there's any guys looking at how much money this guy's making or that guy's making. I think they just bought into the program. And
Yeah.
I think you're seeing that. And I think Alabama definitely covers the spread and win the game
Okay.
because I don't think they're going to sleep into this game, and everything. But I do think Vandy it's important for Vandy how they start the game.
Yeah.
If they come out and they start slow, it's going to be a different story. But if they come out and start fast in this game and make Alabama be like, uh-oh, like, dang, this is a
Gut check.
really, really good team. Like, now you're in for a dogfight, right?
Yep.
So this is going to be a very interesting game. Love to watch it and everything. Can't wait to see it. I just think that overall, I think Ty Simpson is really playing a high level right now. And I think defensively, Bama's gotten better. I saw them get big guys play last week. Like they came ready to play. Now, Georgia still could have won that game,
Yeah.
but at the end of the day, this is the SEC. It's anybody win Saturday. So go Vandy. But if
What
Vanderbilt wins the game, they probably move up into the top 10. And I'm not ready to just put them in the playoffs because they still got a lot of teams on their schedule. And there's some
same.
teams out there, and there's some teams I think that can get hot here if things just tweak a little bit. We'll see.
Well, that's what the argument of people talking about it, if they can get a win in Tuscaloosa over Alabama coming off the Georgia, then Vandy's legit. Like that this game proves that this isn't just an anomaly. This isn't just adrenaline helping this. No, they really have arrived. But if you look at their schedule, Jay, after this, they've got to bye. LSU comes to town. Missouri comes to town. They go to Texas. Auburn comes to town. Kentucky comes to town. They go to Tennessee for rivalry
Yeah.
week. So, I mean, their easiest games left are Auburn and Kentucky. The rest of them are true gut check. So, I mean, Vandy's path is incredibly difficult, but it's hard not to buy into the hype, man, because they have truly done it against all odds. So, like, why not believe, But we'll
I
see
like
what all of these
it. They
teams are
belong
able
in
to
the
do.
SEC. I like the fact that Vandy's doing good. I like the fact that Mississippi State's coming back.
Same.
I like to see Auburn after this bye week, like really show some improvement and get a big win against an arch rival and get
Yeah.
steering in the right direction
Yep.
because it's there and it can happen, but it starts with the mindset first. But LSU to get the offense going, this thing can get really interesting by the end of the year.
I agree.
And
Because we're also not talking about Oklahoma because they've been on a bye week and John Mateer is out for a couple weeks, but they're still very much in the conversation.
And Mateer comes back Red River week.
Yes. So, like, come on, y'all. This stuff, it ain't slowing down anytime soon. We love it. All right. That's going to do it. Almost an hour. Our producers are going to tell us that we have got to go shorter. I do apologize, everyone, but that's what happens in the
Everybody
SEC.
likes it, though. They like the information.
Yeah, facts. To help in that, y'all make sure you share this, subscribe if you haven't already, leave a comment, review, interact with us on social media. Let us know what takes that you want us to talk a little bit more about, and we will continue to put these out weekly every Tuesday. The time may be shifting a little bit, so you want to keep it locked on our socials for all of the updates. So you can find it every Tuesday on YouTube and wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for listening. We'll talk next week.
Peace.